on the opening song of his breakout album, JPEGMAFIA Rap.
On my record get paid.
The line shows the mistrust of fame and the expectations of consumerist audiences, not to mention the personal insecurity of a coming out party, especially inside this digital online world we live in. It's the most on-brand thing for the man to say. The rapper has never been one for normalcy, but it is his unusual free-flowing personality that makes him so relatable to a lot of young people. If there's one lesson to learn from JPEGMAFIA online presence, it is to realize that you don't necessarily need a consistent voice. You just need an interesting one.
I was gonna die making music or just nothing else. I don't have any other aspirations. I don't want to a vlogger. I don't want to be a director. I don't want to be none of this other goofy shit. I make music. That's what I do, and that's what I like, period.
How does an experimental rap artist like JPEGMAFIA become popular? Granted, he may not be the most famous rapper out there, but he has managed over the years to generate a niche audience. JPEGMAFIA, or Peggy, released several tapes at the beginning of 2015, an album in 2016, and collaborated on projects. It wasn't until the release of his 2018 album, Veteran, that he started receiving widespread acclaim. Initial impressions may make him out to be a mindless stoner, which caters to a younger crowd, but Peggy, or Barrington Hendrick, is an Iraq war veteran. He's not no slouch who got off his couch and started making music.
I'm not gonna say a lot, but there's a percentage of people in the military that are just in there because honestly, they can't exist in the real world. They'd be in jail. Like, they're just sociopaths and like psychopaths.
He was involved in one of the most ridiculous invasions in recent memory. Let's call it a spade. And one cannot help but feel it helped him carve out his worldview. Radical leftist ideals and poking authority figures has become his trademark move. And then there's the other side of his personality, the calm, laid-back demeanor of a chill dude. Writing songs that aggressively tackle social, political, and racial issues is not just a confrontational gimmick
I don't
either.
believe in the pacifist thing. I've looked at history and I know my history. Most of what's been moved forward, even in America, is from violence. And from like people saying, F that shit, we're gonna do this.
He is not that stale. What makes it easier to relate to someone who talks about state of affairs or song titles like, I just killed a cop, now I'm horny. Or, Jesus forgive me, I'ma die. I mean, if you were just scrolling through YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, you might want to stop and listen to that. The man's offbeat humor makes him feel so approachable, despite his music being quite avant-garde day. And the music is, let's just say, a little more out there. In addition to being an unconventional lyricist, Peggy is also a producer. He produces, mixes, and masters everything he puts out. So while he may seem like a kind of person who smokes weed all day and just chill, he is highly diligent and committed when it comes to his work. People always bring up death grips, but here's what Peggy had to say about that.
Hold on, let me grab the mic. I don't have no problem with Death Grips, but you Death Grips fans piss me the off. If y'all niggas say I look like MC Ride one more time.
The internet's busiest music nerd.
That guy is responsible for introducing this unique sound to a lot of people. The internet's busiest music nerd has a massive YouTube channel with a dedicated following, with rave reviews from the critic. JPEGMAFIA quickly became a hot commodity. Word of mouth helped elevate his status as a unique personality, but there was still so much to be done. As far as superstardom is concerned, the masses follow anyone with a persona that can be reduced to a soundbite. Since Peggy makes experimental music and is not concerned with being the hottest ticket, he doesn't need to back himself into a corner. He can just be his funky, weird self. The internet is attracted to things that are singular uniqueness, which means sharing your own perspective, maybe sharing your own unique experiences. A distinctive voice. There's no better indicator of the contrast between his distinctly brash and endearingly mellow sides than his Twitter handle. From claiming that black artists needs to reassure everybody of their blackness because they're mayonnaise, to cursing another rapper for standing him up at a McDonald's, the contrast at the heart of his persona is evident. There's this passionate side that offers a fascinating discourse on political issues, and then there's the ability to laugh at everything and everyone. And Veteran, one could clearly see his passion in brazen creative expression. On his next major release, All My Friends Are Cornballs, he showed another side, a virtuoso that was expected of him but had not yet come to fruition. His previous album's raging, abrupt tone was replaced with a smoother and more melodic experience. But even though the music sounds cleaner, The lyrics and ideals were as warped as ever. To understand the appeal of JPEGMAFIA is to understand the need for passion in today's social landscape. But on the other hand, that is not enough. JPEGMAFIA also happens to be a great troll, and there's nothing the internet loves more than a passionate troll. Look up any of his interviews and you notice how he sprawls across multiple issues. Now, I'm not saying that you guys need to do this because I don't always agree with what people say or do for attention, but just study it. It's always good to peep game, you know. And he happens to be a prolific artist on top of that as well. He ain't just doing it just to just do it. Since he's always producing one album or another, he remains relevant in this musical landscape, or we can even say just inside this digital world. Follow his work over the last few years, and you'll notice a clear progression of skill and creativity. With all these things in place, how could you not have interest inside this man? If there's one lesson to learn from JPEGMAFIA online presence, it's like what I said earlier. You don't necessarily need a consistent voice, yeah. You just need an interesting one. If you enjoyed our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have something to add, feel free to comment down below. We're always looking forward to see what you guys got to say. And we hope you guys take interest in what we take interest in as well. Enough said, y'all. It's adios for now. I'm going to see you guys in the next one.